Hey everybody, I'm Kelley. Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little different. It is a bonus video that I had promised you guys a very long time ago, and I've just been procrastinating. I'll be honest. I've been avoiding it. When we hit 50K back towards like the end of December, I think it was, I promised you guys a Q&A, and you guys sent me tons and tons of questions in the comments and to my email. I got tons of questions in email. I can't always respond to all the emails because I get lots of them there and I just don't have the time, but I do read them all. So I got all of your emails and sweet messages. Thank you all. But regardless, that's not the point. The point is that I'm just really bad at these types of videos, Q&A type videos, sitting around just like answering questions and stuff just feels awkward to me. So I have been putting it off for too long. So I'm just gonna do it because it's taken me like 2 months to get around to it. Most of the questions were nice. Some of them were not so nice. Some of them were naughty. I'll just try to get to as many as I can. Where do you live and where are you from? I was born in the US and I live in a city, and that's why you can hear so much noise coming from outside. Sometimes when I'm filming, it's kind of noisy because I live in a city, but that's all I'll say because it's the internet. Are you married? No, I am not married. What do you do for work? Well, now I do this, which is really amazing because it combines a lot of my interests and things that I'm good at and things that I enjoy. Do you do pageants? Yes, I did. I used to. Very, very, very small scale ones though. I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun and so helpful and beneficial to me. Like, I think that it was one of the best things that I ever did in my teenage years and young adulthood. I learned so much and it helped shape me as a lady, as a woman. Absolutely hugely impactful in a positive way. My experience was mostly positive. There were a few things that were less than positive about it, but I loved it and I wish I would have continued. I stopped it for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons why I didn't feel encouraged to continue was because I was told it wasn't really worth investing in because I was so short, and it does cost a lot of money and a lot of time to participate in pageants and to compete, and a lot of beauty queens, once you get to the higher levels, are like very tall models. Yeah, I kind of wish I would have kept going in it a little bit longer, but it was really fun. How do you know so much about etiquette? Well, I'm not like an expert or anything, but it is an interest of mine. I was really fortunate to attend etiquette seminars similar to like a cotillion program. I just found it so interesting and so helpful, and I benefited so greatly from it. It helped me to feel much more confident, calm, and relaxed in like new situations. Like, for example, when I would have like job interviews or have to give a speech or something or a presentation, I didn't get as nervous because I was able to remember some of the things that I learned, and I enjoy knowing these things. I want to know how to be ladylike, and I enjoyed that a lot, and I think it's a big part of femininity in a lot of ways that I feel like is kind of, sometimes people kind of judge things like etiquette negatively, but I think it's just really helpful in being poised and have that be part of your just general nature. So I continued learning about it on my own after I participated in those seminars, and I would highly recommend Emily Post's etiquette book. It was really helpful. I own it. I love it. What are your favorite trends for 2024? I really like open stitching to some extent. I really like layering, so I think the open stitching will be fun to see and can be a more wearable option. Roses and feathers are both trending, but I would totally go for roses over feathers personally. Preppy vibes are really in, and I am obsessed. I absolutely love that. I'm very pleased. Polos, things like that, fabulous. Modern flapper is also kind of in, coming into trend, and I think it'll be interesting. It won't work well for me. That's disappointing, but I think it'll be fun to see, like on the red carpet and on other people. One trend that I'm not really very good friends with in 2024 is the sheer skirts. I just think in real life they are not what we actually want to see or have happening at all. Do you have kids? Yes, I have 2 beautiful princes, and I would love to have many more babies. Do you have hobbies? What are they? Many, yes. I'm a good cook, but I cook like every single day, so I don't think of it so much as a hobby. It's not always fun because I like have to cook, but I want to get better at it. I like learning and being a good cook. I think you should know how to cook well. So I do enjoy practicing it, I guess, or getting good at it. I like fitness. I like dance. I love music. I like video games. I'm really good at, I like Assassin's Creed quite a bit. I have a hard time sometimes like stopping thinking and focusing on like work or business things that I need to take care of. So video games, I find them to be like much better at getting me to just fully relax and not be trying to think about other things while I do something else. And movies. I absolutely love movies. I like going to the movies. I love movies. I also like comedy, like stand-up comedy. Are you still jumping? How have you lost so much weight? Okay, so those of you who have been with me for a really long time, thank you. You guys probably remember or are asking me that because you've seen that weight loss video that I did like over a year ago or about a year ago. I did only one thing different, which was add in jumping, and I lost like a bunch of weight really quickly. So I shared it because I was like, well, that was pretty easy and fabulous. But yes, I still am jumping. At first, I was just jumping and stretching. So I have a history of like pretty severe injuries, including back injuries that took me 2 whole years of daily physical therapy 2 to 3 times per day, every single day, to heal from. During the time that my injuries were very troublesome, I had gained some weight and I had had some pregnancies during that time. So I'm only sharing that because that may have contributed to the ease at which I lost weight last year. I went down several sizes. Like this is my more normal size where I'm at now, where I had been before those injuries. So as my injuries healed enough to where I could do real workouts, that may have just helped me along in losing weight quicker. Like I don't have any sorts of other roadblocks. Like I know some people who have like metabolic disorders or hormone imbalances have a lot harder time losing weight. So I think it's only fair if I'm talking about this subject to point out that I didn't have those challenges up against, and that I was coming out of a time in which there was definitely some inflammation and things like that from those injuries that contributed to where I was at, my starting point, like this time last year, to where I'm at now. But yes, I started with jumping and just continuing to stretch. I still stretch every day. I like being flexible, but also I kind of have to stretch to keep my back and my other injuries calm and not bothersome. I think that jumping was like a huge difference when I added that in. Some people say it helps your lymphatic system, and I guess my experience was that it just was a huge difference. Now I do lots of other things as well as jumping and stretching daily, but I think if you're like looking to lose weight this year, add in jumping for at least 60 seconds at least twice a day, because there's like no excuse to not do it. So it's really easy to stick with it. And that's always the key with weight loss stuff. If it's something that you can stick with and do consistently every single day and not give yourself excuses, then you will see results, as compared to things like we always try to make like all these big sweeping changes or transform our lifestyle all at once, and it's just not practical. But jumping, especially for such short chunks of time, like less than 2 minutes a day, we pretty much all can do that. And it's much harder to tell yourself that you're too busy or don't have time when it's like, okay, 60 seconds. So you can jump rope, and that's essentially what I did, except I didn't use a rope because I had to hold the girls still. I held my boobs and just jumped up and down, and that was it in terms of what I added, and made a big difference. Now, at least twice a week, sometimes more. I would love to much more often, but I just don't always have time. So at minimum, twice a week, I do a real workout. I do a lot of I like Pilates, sprints, aerobics, and strength training. My favorites have always been like strength training, but I try to incorporate lots of different things. I mostly, when it comes to strength training, focus on deep core and glutes, because they help to shape you in a flattering way, but also because they are the most helpful to protect my back from further injuries and pain. So that's why I focus on deep core especially. What meal plan do you follow? I don't really follow any specific meal plan at all. I pretty much eat whatever I want. I eat my comfort foods. I'll eat dessert. I don't really restrict myself in any way. I do gravitate towards whole foods, and I try to be sure that at least 2 of my meals in a day are really well balanced. But like if we're going out to eat or it's pasta night or something, pizza night, I'm not gonna say no. But what I do consistently is pay attention to fullness cues and eat smaller portions. I guess like if there was a meal plan, it would be portion control, I guess, because I just simply don't like the feeling of being too full. It's not like I'm trying to watch how much I eat or calories at all. I don't do any of that. I just don't like feeling super full. I drink a lot of water as well, like tons and tons of water. Besides water, I drink hot tea. Once a day, I have in the morning a coconut milk latte, just like a double shot of espresso and some steamed coconut milk. It's delicious. If you haven't tried it, you should. It's so fabulous. Other than that, when it comes to foods or like diet, really the only other thing is that I try to be sure that I eat plenty of protein. I kind of eat protein first. Like if I have a plate that has protein and like a starch and a vegetable or something, I eat my protein first because I have a tendency to get anemic, and all year last year I was like severely anemic. I was so anemic. I would feel faint sometimes. I was just like, it was horrible. So I started being really careful to eat my protein first so that if I got too full to eat the rest of the plate, at least I had the protein in me. And I feel like that helped a lot. And by accident, that meant I ate fewer carbs, but I certainly didn't cut out carbs or anything like that. Are you a strawberry blonde? I don't think I would classify myself as such. I do have like a really warm undertone to my hair. So especially when I lighten it, it'll look maybe more strawberry-ish, I guess. But yeah, no, I don't think so. At least not to me. But we're not always the best at judging ourselves, are we? How is your skin so glowy? Well, thank you. I do use the most fabulous moisturizers that I have ever found, which is Aveda Botanical Kinetics. I use the Rich Cream Moisturizer and I use their Water Gel Cream, just kind of alternate. I think that they are absolutely spectacular, and I have somewhat reactive skin. Sometimes like I'll get a breakout easily if I do something different or introduce something different in terms of like makeup or skincare. I can be prone to breakouts, so I have found those to be very compatible with my particular skin type and needs, and they're like pretty natural, just absolutely fabulous and luscious. And I use them all around my eyes as well. I don't use a separate eye cream most of the time. And then I use serums. I use like usually just one serum per day. I alternate between a hyaluronic acid, a retinol, and a vitamin C serum. And I've tried a collagen serum, but I just don't know. I've read a lot of research that says you don't really absorb collagen through a serum, through the surface of your skin. It doesn't really work like that. But I have tried using that. Other than that, I use Aveda's Pore Refiner. I quite like that. And they also have like a luminizer serum. I really like that. And they have a hydrogel or hydrating boost serum. I really like that. So I just keep it pretty minimal. I also only actually wash my face once a day. If I feel like I need to wash my face in the morning, I just use only water or water on a washcloth, but I only use actual cleanser in the evening and I double cleanse. I also don't wear makeup every single day. I only wear makeup really for filming or if like we're going out doing something. But I mean, on my day-to-day, I don't do makeup. And of course, I drink a lot of water. That probably helps. Do you get mean comments? Yes, a lot. But it comes with the territory, so it's not terribly bothersome. I mean, it's not nice, but sometimes I can tell they're just being petty or they don't actually watch my content. They're just reacting to one thing, so that doesn't bother me too much. And luckily I'm not vain, so people saying mean stuff about my appearance or about me, it doesn't usually get to me too awful much. Not that it's not unpleasant, but the weirdest mean comments that I get are actually emails, like hate mail about my boobs or my cleavage or something like that. And so I'm sorry. I don't have the budget to tailor every top or go out, and I don't have the time to go out and find perfect tops for filming. And I'm not like an expert at setting up camera angles and stuff. And so there have been wardrobe malfunctions. I'm not denying that. It's not on purpose. If there's too much boob in a video, it is an accident, but I get so little time to film that I'm like, well, I'm just gonna put out the video anyway, and hopefully people ignore the problem. It's kind of funny sometimes. Is that a bluebird of happiness in your background? Yes, this back here, it is. It's a little bluebird of happiness from Arkansas. My grandma gave it to me when I was a child, and I have managed to keep it safe all these years. I also have this little tiny owl that sits next to the bluebird. It's a little pink owl with a crown, so obviously it was fitting. My dad used to collect owls, so I thought it was cute. I know my background is not great. A lot of people really hate my background. That's probably the second biggest complaint I get. People just hate my background. I am gonna try to change it within the next few months, I promise. If you have suggestions, leave it below. I'm really close to just taking the shelves off my wall and just having a white wall behind me because I just don't know what to do with it. It's annoying. It's such a small little corner of this space, of this room, that I don't know. I don't know what to do. So I'm sorry that my background is annoying. Can we see your wardrobe? And what are your measurements? No. My wardrobe is nothing special, nothing exciting. I don't think it would be fabulous for anybody to see necessarily. It's not like it's the wardrobe of my dreams. And at this point, I feel like it would be like a huge letdown for people. So no. But perhaps in the future, I'll put together like a seasonal capsule wardrobe. Maybe I'll think about that for fall and going forward or something and share that with you guys, because that could be something that I curate carefully rather than the way I have. My closet is like your guys's. There's stuff from years ago. There's stuff that you've been given or you got and you were like, wait, why did I buy that? Same. As for my measurements, well, right now I'm 38, 27, 38, and I'm 5'1", almost, not quite 5'1", I'm almost 5'1". How do you know what body shape you are and what to wear? Well, that would take like a whole entire video series to explain or to go over to be helpful with. I feel like that's just really hard to do on YouTube too, because all of us have like a big combination of proportions and measurements and shapes that it's really no one size fits all. You really have to consider your three most dominant proportions, which would be how proportionate your torso to legs are, what's your widest point, how proportionate are you across there, and what sort of general shape, like are you more top heavy, bottom heavy. But quickly, I could say if you take a picture of yourself, like have your camera at like chest height or so, and take a picture of yourself from far back where you can see from top to toe your whole body, and just stand square to the camera, you'll be able to observe what your widest point is, which is always going to be more visually dominant and carry more visual weight, and where that tends to lie on your frame, as well as if you have a long torso or a short torso or a balanced torso to leg proportion, you'd be able to see that, and that's the best place to start. And then you can just sort of piece those things together, and then it's all about just trying it out and seeing how it works on your particular body and shape, and then you'll be able to sort of identify certain rules that work well for you. For example, people who are short or petite like myself, oftentimes one recommendation for short stature is high-waisted pants and skirts. High-waisted things make your legs look a little longer and can then make you look a little taller than you are, or just elongate your overall visual. But if you happen to also have a short torso, then that can be disastrous. So you would need to adjust that for more mid-rise rather than low or high-rise, for example. So just looking into what your proportions are and what's recommended for them, but then actually trying it out before you buy a bunch of those things is the key. Why do you have so many videos about the Meghan Markle? Because she offers a lot of examples of what not to do. When we see celebrities, they are often using a stylist, or we see them on the red carpet a few times a year where they are in gowns and like evening wear. That's not as helpful to us learning about our day-to-day outfits as somebody who's wearing maybe blouses and trousers or jeans and tops or things like that, the way we see the royal family out there in more normal outfits, or like Meghan Markle in more normal outfits. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has the benefit of not making very many wardrobe missteps or errors. And she has a very tall frame, got balanced proportions, like she has fewer styling concerns. So while it's easy to look at her and see what looks good and why. There's value, like real value, in looking at mistakes and people who have more style concerns, the way Meghan does, where she doesn't have as balanced of proportions, she doesn't have as well defined of a waistline, and she's a little bit shorter. Those things we can actually learn from those mistakes that she makes, whereas somebody who's not making as many mistakes, it sets a good example, but especially if you don't have the same proportions as them, it's harder to learn from that. You can appreciate it, and we all love appreciating it, but it's harder to learn from, if that makes sense. Also, there's not many other public figures who have consistent fashion faux pas the way Meghan does. She has so many, and most celebrities or public figures just don't have their bra visible through their clothes and stuff regularly. It just doesn't happen as often. As for the other side of it, not necessarily talking about Meghan's fashion, but the Sussex drama or royal family news and things like that, I've just always been a fan of Queen Elizabeth, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince William. I think that they're great role models. I love King Charles, all of them, but Catherine in particular, she sets a really good example. And so that's what kind of put the Meg on my radar at all. And then the drama and stuff as it began, it was fascinating, it was bizarre, it was wrong, and so I just found it interesting to talk about. Why do you call her the Meg? Okay, so there is a movie with Jason Statham called The Meg. It's about the megalodon. It's just kind of one of those action movies that's kind of cheesy, but it's still a good time. And the Meg is a giant prehistoric shark, and I just thought it was kind of funny, so I started calling her the Meg. What are your favorite brands? Well, I can't decide, or I couldn't say, because it really depends on the item itself and how it fits you. And across one brand, only a certain percentage of their pieces will actually work for you, and you need to go to a different brand for other stuff, But as for designers, I really like Dior, Alexander McQueen, and Christian Siriano a lot of the time. Are you engaged? No. Probably because of engagement week, I got a lot of questions asking if I was engaged. What got you into fashion? Well, I've always really loved it. As a kid, I used to watch Project Runway a lot. I absolutely love fashion and how it looks on different people and why people choose the outfits that they do and how they look. Some outfits look better on them and others don't. I've always found that really interesting and studied that always. I've always loved sketching outfits, designing outfits, just absolutely loved it always. And when it came to personal styling and making your own outfits look really nice, I first was able to really expand into and sink my teeth into that with pageantry, and luckily I started that pretty young, so I was able to really dive into that. But I've always loved pretty dresses and beautiful things, so it's pretty ingrained. But a lot of the things that I learned that were incredibly helpful, the importance of the right type of bra and good bras and good undergarments and foundations and stuff like that, just gives you so much more confidence when you're dressed in a way that looks good and flatters you and is custom to you. You feel so much better, that it's just so transformative, that I really find that to be valuable and wonderful and confidence boosting. And when you feel confident and comfortable and you like your clothes, you like how you look, you like what you're wearing, your undergarments are supportive and feeling good, but also maybe there's something pretty or sexy or beautiful, then you just have so much more zest to you. When you're out in the world, you're just so much more open and blossomed and ready. And so it just makes such a huge difference. And for me, myself, I find it to be just a really important and valuable thing for people in general to put a little bit of effort into kind of sorting that out. And then, not all of us like spending a ton of time shopping. I don't even like dedicating that much time to shopping. But once you figure it out, invest a little time in figuring out what works for you, the right types of bras, things like that. And then you can just relax about it and not think about it so much. So I feel like it's a worthy investment of time in your life to figure out a framework. And then from there, you'll just always feel so much better when you're out and about. I hope that makes sense. How did you come up with this channel, and do you do all of this yourself? Well, it just kind of naturally came about. I had waited to start a YouTube channel for a really long time for two reasons. First, because I'm not used to being on camera. I don't particularly like seeing myself on camera, and I don't know much about that. I'm not like a social media type of person, but also because I thought you had to just pick one, and I would have to either just do makeup or fashion or royals. But then I was just like, I'm going to try it anyway. So I tried doing those three things together, and I'm really, really lucky and fortunate and happy that it worked out well. And then, yes, I do pretty much do all of it myself. Sometimes I do have a bit of help with things like making shorts or stuff like that, like computer type stuff. And that's why I'm no expert with like lighting and camera angles and audio and stuff like that. So that's why there are errors and things that could be improved. Do you do social media? Yes, no. Kind of. I do have social media accounts, but I've never been really big into social media. I've never been a big personal social media person, like in my personal life. So like YouTube was a little bit out of my wheelhouse. So I don't frequent other social media platforms really. I pretty much just do YouTube right now. Maybe eventually I'll do more like Instagram or something else, but for now it's pretty much just YouTube because I've never been like a Facebook or Instagram or like whatever type of person really at all. I didn't get to all of the questions, but I think that this video is long enough by now. So thank you so much for joining me for this bonus video. I hope it was at least somewhat interesting to watch, and I will be back with normal, regularly scheduled programming next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who have subscribed, who click the like button, who enjoy these videos, and so are supportive, leaving comments, sending emails, things like that. I just appreciate it so very much, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I remember you. When I don't see you in the comments for a while, I start to wonder if you're okay. I think about you all, so I just am very appreciative of you, and I will see you in the next one. Have a happy day, everybody.